Hello and welcome to the channel. I recently uploaded a video on the Canon 1DS Mark II and its advantages and limitations. Thank you for the likes and the views and the comments. It's been relatively well received and it did pleasantly surprise me. I did say I'd upload some images that I'd taken. And so here we have the first picture I actually took with it. Just outside the back door. This is in sort of February this year, 2018, and I was really impressed with the colours and the contrasts, straight away. Just to give an overview, all these images have been straight out of camera, no editing, 100 ISO, auto white balance. Some images have been cropped a little bit, the lens is shot wide open, and I'm using evaluative metering. The second shot here, this is literally a couple of seconds later. This was a pine tree, and children had been sort of on the trampoline and grabbed it and pulled it down a bit. But again, I sort of like the colours and the contrast of that. Outside in the backyard, they're sort of doing some building work, and someone had found on the back road, they'd actually found a toy and put it in the on the fence, and I really liked the colours, the atmosphere here. I thought the atmosphere was really good. And out the back there's also some random sort of plants and bushes. So I focused in the centre at the bottom there on that particular sort of item, and then sort of recomposed to take this shot. I really thought that was quite nice, the way the colours were rendered. Here, a bit later, sort of in March, we had some snow, and we'd gone out for sort of a little sort of walk around and stuff. And I found this piece of plastic blowing in the trees. And I just like the way that the camera rendered the shadows and sort of the light and the dark in that. And here's my children. We were out sort of, and I really like the way they sort of stand out from the background. There's sort of quite a nice atmosphere. It's almost quite filmic, actually. It reminds me of the 5D Mark I, the classic. And then a bit later on, there was a snowball fight, of course. And again, this was really quite nice. I just like the colours and the contrast of this. Sort of one of the better shots. But this was later on in March, and we had some snow. We were over in Surrey at the time, and I noticed some of the metering was a bit strange. Whether it's the metering, auto white balance, I don't know, but it did struggle. Here we have just the three sort of got a macro lens, so it's quite close here. But again, it's sort of not quite as good, not quite right. So there's a bit of hit and miss. This was a shot taken. There was a V in a tree, and I could take a picture of another tree through it. And this came out, I was quite happy with this. I thought this was sort of a lot better, much better sort of metering on this one. Now here we have a Yeti in a sort of little playground. Quite like this, so again, slightly filmic really. There's quite a lot of 16.7 sort of megapixels, so you get quite a lot of detail here. This was again sort of the building works out the back, and I just like the colours. We're sort of into sort of April now, so we've still got the spring colours there, so I was quite pleased with that. Here we have sort of a macro shot, so we're sort of getting sort of end of April now. So this was just a fly, and again, there's quite a lot of detail. You can zoom in a long way and still have a nice amount of detail there. So here's a picture from sort of went to work very early, and sort of there's some plants there. The colours weren't as good as I've get from my sort of 5D Mark II. The blue on that and the sort of the contrast. I scared a duck. I managed to actually get it in relatively in focus. Probably the shutter speed was a bit too sort of low, but yeah, so that was quite nice. And again, you can zoom in, and there's still a lot of detail. Here's our plum tree and some of the blossom on that. Managed to get the focus sort of pretty good on that, but the colours and the contrast aren't quite as good. This is our apple tree. Aren't quite as good as I was used to with the 5D Mark II, but it's still quite nice. Still very, very usable. And these, of course, aren't edited. So in summary, I think this camera is absolutely fantastic value for money. You can get it for about £300 from sort of well-known online auction house. And really the only serious way to get in cheaper is probably to buy the 5D Mark I Classic, but that's sort of a lot lower spec. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this camera. I hope you see what you think. I'd like to any comments you've got on the images. But to be honest, the reason I got this was I actually wanted, after a bit of research at the 1D series, full frame, I wanted the 1DS Mark III, but that was about £900, and this, of course, is about £300. So I bought one of these Mark IIs to see if I could get on with the size of it and the weight of it, and I've really enjoyed it. But I have actually recently upgraded to the 1DS Mark III, and it is a serious upgrade in a lot of aspects. So what I'm planning to do now is the next upload will be comparing the 1DS Mark II and the 1DS Mark III. And so if you'd like to sort of catch that, it should be up in a few weeks, then please subscribe. Obviously leave any comments, or if you like it, please like it. Thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.